So chat, if you don't know, basically, yesterday we did an IRL stream sledding, which should be posted on the live channel already. And it was a pretty funny stream. We were there for like 2 hours. And honestly, we could have gotten for way longer if we weren't actually freezing to death. Listen, chat, I don't know if it was just really cold or we didn't freaking like dress well at all. Maybe even both. But listen, me and Cryptic rocked up in like freaking regular sweatpants, one jacket layer, like a very thin long sleeve underneath. Like we were not prepared for the snow. And we didn't just do regular sledding like normal people. I mean, we're not normal, obviously. Like, look at me. So we like rolled around. We like tried making a fort out there. It was awesome. It was amazing until the point where we weren't acting anymore and it was actually cold. We had to end stream because we were actually so miserable that we weren't even faking it anymore. Like we were actually all freezing and all in literal pain. So as soon as we ended stream, we tried to get out of there. Until we realized we went so far into the freaking tundras that it would take like 15 minutes to walk all the way back to where there was actually no snow. I was actually low-key getting worried because my hands were so freaking cold. I couldn't move my fingers. And my feet, they were gone. They were basically done for. Like, my toes stopped moving 30 minutes ago. I did this in stream too. I wasn't faking it. I tried slamming my feet into a tree to feel something and I couldn't feel anything. My toes were actually numb that day. We tried walking through the snow. Like it was actually like we were actually in the Antarctic. We had to carry all these sleds despite my fingers being literally frozen. I felt like I was gonna pass out. I was literally leaning on Cryptic for support and this guy was already out. But we finally made it out and we got to step on the freaking parking lot in front of everybody. Tony was already on the ground as soon as we exited the snow. A freaking woman drove up to us and asked if we were okay because we were all laying down next to the sidewalk and I was like, we're fine, but no, we were dying. Getting out of the snow did not help, by the way. It was too late, but it's okay because my dad lives pretty close to here. I'll call him and then he could drive us home. So I dialed up my dad. He did not pick up, but I dialed him again. He did not pick up again. But I dialed him like 5 more times and then he finally picked up. He was asleep, but we woke him up and I was like, can you pick us up? And he was like, sure. And we were like, we are free. Oh my goodness, I am never touching the snow ever again. And then he called me like literally 1 minute later and he was like, I can't come. I'm like, sorry, what? And he was like, no, I can't come. There's so much snow in the driveway that I cannot bring my car out. And I was like, I'm dead. And you have to keep in mind, the title of the stream was not a lie. This was a historic snowstorm that we stupidly decided to go out and survive in. When I told Cryptic that my dad can't come to get us, he was actually screaming. I think he was the closest to death out of everybody there. We were all close, by the way, but this man, I don't know if it's because he's bigger than the rest of us and he takes more damage or what. I thought it'd be the other way around, but bro was not having it. But it was okay, because you know who also lives very close? Tony's dad. So Tony ringed him up. I think he didn't pick up. But on the second time, he did pick up. And he was like, okay. And then we were like, finally, we're free. And at this point, it was getting worse, by the way. Just because we were out of the snow, it was way too late. My shoes were completely covered in snow. Like, in the inside as well. So, like, it was like insulating itself. And I couldn't take my shoes off. I couldn't feel my hands. I couldn't feel my feet, and my feet were also bleeding, and it was getting worse because there was no area to warm it on. But it's okay. Tony's dad was gonna come, so we waited. And then we waited. And then 10 minutes later, Cryptic was getting impatient, and he was like, okay, where is he? Call him up. So we called him up. I think he responded, and then he replied, there's a lot of snow stuck in the driveway, so I'm still at his house. No! I actually started to feel my life flash before my eyes. Like, I'm not kidding you. It was actually that bad. We were all stranded there, and I was like, you know what? There's a restaurant around here, but we need to walk for like 20 minutes. which might not seem possible, but it's low-key the only choice that we have left. So like we all decided to get up and start moving, and not even 5 minutes in, I already started to regret it. I was like, oh my goodness, I'm actually going to die out here. We were walking, and I was the first one to like physically kneel down and like scream. Like my legs started hurting for no reason. Like they started cramping up, and at that point I thought I was about to lose my limbs. Like there was no bit, the cameras were over, and I was scared for my life, and everybody else was too. We had to go find somebody, some random dude off the street. The first guy I saw, I was like, hey, do you live around here? And thank goodness he said yes. He must have thought we were really weird, because I was asking, I was like, can we go inside your home? I didn't know how to explain. I didn't know how to explain that we decided to go out into the Arctic as a challenge for stream. I was like, we're really cold right now. Can you let us warm up or something? And obviously he said no, because like, why would you let three random teenagers inside your home? But he did graciously let us into his car to warm up, and oh my goodness, thank the Lord for this random guy. I did ask for his name, but out of pure respect, I'm not going to butcher it or try. This guy, he might have saved our lives. As soon as we went into somewhere warm, my entire body went like it was actually like starting to like explode or something. Like, oh my god, this is heat. It actually like forgot heat. It was actually literally the coldest I've ever felt in my life. We're in some random dude's car just warming up. I was like, crank the freaking heater, and he did to the best of his ability. I didn't really feel much, but it was better than anything. The freaking Cryptic had his hands on the freaking AC, his freaking sausage fingers. I was worried he was gonna break it or something to like try to heal up. It was like kind of working, but not really, because the ice was still like, it was solid in my shoes. Like imagine a big freaking ice block on my foot. Like you could not take that out. We were in the car for like 10 minutes, and we were obviously not getting better, and I think we put him in like an awkward situation. So he was like, you know what, can I drive you guys to like the nearest pizza restaurant so I could drop you guys off and like get you guys the fuck out of my car? And I was like, he didn't say that, but you know what he meant. So he drove these random kids to the nearest pizza spot and just left us there. We took the sleds out of his trunk, and then we got dropped off at the freaking pizza spot. Bless that guy. I hope he receives like the greatest sloppy toppy of his life if he's into that. As soon as I exited the car again, it all hit me again, and like my body temperature was dropping immediately. So I was like, I'm going in the freaking pizza spot. So I literally just dumped all of our sleds, which was like 4 to 5, on top of some random mailbox, and we went into the pizza spot. And we were all dripping wet, and these guys looked at us and like we were gonna get anything, but we weren't. I don't think they talked to us. They knew the situation, and we were still waiting for Tony's dad, by the way. He was still trying to get out of the driveway with all the snow in there. We are still abandoned, but we were near a pizza spot, so this was an improvement. But low-key, I was still hurting. I turned to Cryptic, who was like, I don't even think I could describe the look on his face. It was something in the mix of like freezing and something like that. But I turned to him, I was like, yo bro, I had to like shake him a little bit. I was like, yo, I got an idea. They have a bathroom in this place, right? And he was like, yeah. There was only one bathroom, by the way. So we went in together. Must have looked really weird, but trust me, it gets a lot weirder from the outside when you hear what we were doing. So we went into the bathroom, locked the doors, and this is going to be a very shameful moment. When we exited the bathroom, we promised each other that what happens in the bathroom stays in the bathroom. But since you guys are the viewers, we have to tell you, I cranked the water all the way to like the hottest setting. We just put our hands in there at first, so like normal stuff. We're trying to feel something, but if you don't know, if you're going through like some sort of frostbite, even if it's like a very light stage like the one we were probably going through, I think that's what we were going through, I don't know. You can't just immediately warm yourself up. That's what I'm trying to say. Because like, I don't know what happens. Maybe your hands like explode or something. Maybe all the blood pressure goes down to your butthole and you start like shooting it out or something. I don't know. You have to gradually do it. We started decently warm, and then we went all the way until like max setting, like steam was coming out, and shit was not burning us at all. Both of our hands were in the sink, like kind of flooding it a little, like some water was like dripping down. We were in boiling hot water, and it still didn't help at all. Tony was freaking passed out. He could have died next to the freaking pepperoni section for all we knew. I don't know what he was doing, but yeah, me and Cryptic were still freezing, but it was like kind of better. Once it like neutralized, like it was still cold, but I wouldn't die anymore. There was no threat for my hands to fall off. Now I look down at my icy feet. The ice is still very much there. I manned up and I was like, bro, we have to stick our feet in the sink. And he was like, yeah. We started out trying to take off our shoes. The bathroom is very cramped. It is a one-person bathroom. We were going like, pull it out. And I'm pretty sure the pizza guy thought we were like doing something else, but I didn't care at that moment. I was freaking dying. We tried pulling off our shoes. It didn't work. So there was like a bar railing for like people who like broke their legs or whatever. So I leaned against the bar railing. I lifted up my foot for Cryptic to pull my shoe off, and he yanked it first, and I went, ah! Someone definitely heard it if they were next to the bathroom. I actually felt the ice scraping down my leg, and I thought my foot was attached to it, but he pulled it a few more times. I was like trying not to scream because we were in the middle of a random bathroom, and then he finally popped it out, and I swear it was like giving birth. Like I was anchored like this against like the toilet and the bar, and Cryptic was pulling like go, and then he finally popped it out, and oh my goodness, it immediately felt better when I was removed from the ice. Like the ice all stuck to my shoe, but my foot was out. Not a single toe was able to move. Maybe more like this. It was like curled up from like freezing, and it just stuck there. It was like completely frozen. Both of my feet were like this. And then Cryptic was like, does it feel better? I was like, hell yeah, feels better. And he was like, okay, do me now. This one was a little harder because Cryptic is not very flexible. I will skip the details on this one. Just imagine what happened to me, but like a little worse. After one of his shoes came off, we were just standing there in the middle of a very wet bathroom. Like we got water all over the floor. Both of us with one shoe off. Like it was still cold though. So this is Cryptic when I got his shoe off. As you can see, it's completely covered in ice. His shoes were so blended in with the ice, and it hurt so much to tug his foot out that his shoes fell apart. Like the ice were so stuck to the shoe, and his socks were so stuck to the shoe, that when we managed to pull his foot out, this is his sole, by the way. This is the sole of his shoes. I will tell you what we did next. I cranked up the hot water, and I was like, but the sink was way too high. It was like way higher than it should have been. So I couldn't get my foot in there. So I had another idea. We gotta do it. And he knew. We were like telepathically linked like that. I cranked up the water to the absolute maximum setting, and I washed my shoe in the pizzeria. I'm washing my shoe. Fill it up with warm water. I'm trying to melt the snow. I washed the shoe until all of the ice melted, but my feet were still very much frozen, very much in constant pain. So I was like, if I can't dip my freaking toes in the sink, I have a better idea. I filled up my shoes like it was this water cup with warm water, and then I put my toes in it. Filled it with really hot water, and then... Wait, I'm gonna try right now. Oh my god. I found the method. If it helps, it helps, and it helped. So Cryptic did the same thing. At this point, the entire bathroom was soaking, and like our feet were so cold that the warm water like turned lukewarm in like 10 seconds. So it was like a repeating thing. So like I stuck my toe in there, I took it out, dumped the rest of the water in the toilet, filled it with warm water again, put it on the ground, and it was like that for like a good bit until we reached like neutral levels. My hands at this point were like kind of good. Like I could like move them around freely, but they were still very much cold, but they were like fine. Like I didn't care about my hands anymore. But as for my feet, they stayed in the neutral zone the entire trip until we were back at Tony's house, which doesn't happen for a bit, by the way. It still doesn't happen yet. Tony's dad is still trying to get out of the driveway. I think that entire routine was like 30 minutes long, and we weren't even done, by the way. That was only one foot. We rinsed and repeated, and then afterwards We were like kind of fine, but of course, obviously, we cleaned the entire bathroom. We fucked that thing up. I don't think the video does any justice. It was like dead ass, like completely flooded in there. So we finally went out. We met Tony, and bro didn't even look at us. Bro's like this. His soul left his body. He was on the counter, and I thought he died because he didn't come with us. And finally, his dad showed up. And it turns out, while me and Cryptic were having a toe sauna in the back of the pizzeria, Tony's dad actually made it to the Arctic place where we filmed the entire stream, where this all started, like 10 minutes ago. But we were already gone, so he was confused. Tony's dad went into the snow himself to go look for us, but he couldn't find us. And then I think Tony eventually checked his phone and then told him where we were. We didn't tell him everything that happened, but we told him we were freezing, and he so graciously got us a pizza. We were like barely eating though. We were like, the pizza slice was here. Cryptic was going like, we were like stabilizing at that point. I don't know about Tony. I think he was still dying. Tony has a built-in sauna in his house for some reason. So I was like, you know what? We gotta do this group sauna session after. That's the only way to freaking heal and get over all of this. After we ate our pizza, we were still all shivering. We stepped out of the pizzeria. It felt like fucking shell shock. I was like, ugh. It all came back to me for a second. We went to Tony's dad's car. He drove us home. We all went to the sauna, and I have a video of this. Let's just say we were all good afterwards. That was the story of how me, Cryptic, and Tony almost died filming a fucking IRL stream. But there is something I have to mention. If you watch the original video, it started with 4 people. Me, Tony, Cryptic, and Ryan. If you notice, pretty much 1 minute into the video, this guy leaves. He leaves immediately, leaving us there to film the rest of the stream. And guess what? It was his idea! He is the one who dragged us out into the snowstorm. I know it sounds like a crazy wacky idea, surviving the NYC snowstorm, but it wasn't my idea. You know what I was going to do that day? I was going to not stream, and I was going to watch movies in fucking peace. But he bring us out! While we suffered and went through that entire thing, this guy was probably home, cuddled up in his warm blankets, not knowing what he put us through. It gets so much worse. This freaking guy had the gall to DM me this. How are you doing? I can't feel my hands or legs. I can barely walk. You were there for 30 minutes. We were stranded there. This was your fault. Why is he complaining? So what's the moral of this story? The moral of this story is God bless Joe's Pizza. Holy crap, bro. I am so sorry for what you had to hear from the outside. The kitchen was right there, by the way. While they were cooking pizzas, we were steaming toast.